Right now, for more, we cross to our reporter Hasina Gori, who was at the command center where that briefing took place. Hasina, give us the latest.
Good afternoon. When we last spoke, we're here at the command center in Mary Fitzgerald Square, which has been set up following the gas explosion that took place almost 24 hours ago yesterday afternoon during peak time traffic. We're waiting on the Premier as well as Executive Mayor to brief the media. In the last 2 hours, we've had two separate briefings, one with the Premier as well as his team, which included the provincial Gauteng Police General Ilyas Mawela, as well as various other MMCs, and he was just responding to questions that the media had placed to him earlier in the day, and he had come and responded back. And some of the key issues, which is a lot to unpack, is that there is still only one fatality, and from what we understand, the body has still not yet been identified. Fingerprints have been taken from the deceased male and will now be checked against both the Home Affairs as well as the criminal systems database, and then hopefully once he is identified, the families will then be informed. So we're told that the numbers of those deceased have not risen, that search and rescue teams have gone out during the day to ensure that there hasn't been any other bodies or missing people that may have fallen into the cracks which opened when the blast took place on Bree Street. Also, the numbers of those injured still remain at 48, with at least 8 people still being in hospital. We heard from the Premier that he visited one of the hospitals, Charlotte Mateke, and visited some of the patients. Two are in a critical condition. From what we understand so far, there is no patients that are being treated for smoke inhalation. The big question around this incident is what exactly took place and what caused it, and can it happen again? And from what we are hearing from authorities right now, there is no conclusive report. There's still no understanding of what exactly took place yesterday at 4 p.m. here in the Johannesburg CBD. We're told that those that have stakeholds in the underground system here in the area, the network of pipes, have all come out to investigate their pipes. These include Egoli gas, Sasol, the sewage system, electricity, as well as water, as well as telecom, and all of the various different stakeholders have so far reported in their preliminary reports that their pipes are still intact and there's no leakages, and they could not have been the cause right now of that blast that took place. But according to authorities which briefed the Premier, which include the Department of Labour, they say that there's some similarities with this incident to an incident that happened at the Yeoville telecom tower, and the gases that were released, and they would like to investigate further before they pronounce on any kind of a report just yet. So we're still awaiting that report coming out on what exactly are the gas. Is it harmful to the environment? Is it harmful to the health of those in this area? From what we know now, the roads are going to remain closed. These are various different roads in the Johannesburg CBD. The Premier is saying that Lillian Ngowi, which is known as Bree Street, will remain closed for quite some time, given the damage that it has sustained in this blast, and given the severity of that incident. So we're told for now that road will remain closed. So those that are traveling in this area will have to seek and use alternate routes during their commutes. We're also told that we heard earlier in the day when both the health department as well as the Premier spoke, calling on those that are in the area, both working as well as residing in the CBD, to stay away from the blast area, despite their curiosity, given that they're still unsure whether there'll be a secondary blast, still unsure of the health and environmental impacts of this blast, and also just the stability of that road. And what they're doing now is, we're told that barbed wire will be set up in the perimeter of the area just to preserve the scene at this time. So we heard that from the Premier, from his team, just giving an update, saying that phase 1 has been just to ensure that they save lives, that they ensure the safety of people before any other phase can be rolled out, and that's what they're going to be doing. But then we also had a second briefing that coming out from the executive mayor who brought his team, saying that they were going or had been briefed on technical aspects, trying to understand the impact and what exactly caused the damage and who should be held responsible. We're told that they will now be holding a second briefing at 8 p.m, a technical one, which will give us quite a detailed report and hopefully paint a picture of what exactly happened. We're also getting some kind of picture of the incident and what exactly took place. A video circulating on social media showing us that the moment of that impact, you see the quantums, quite literally flying up in the air and then coming back down. We also heard from the executive mayor himself saying that some of the eyewitnesses that they met in hospital and went to visit also retelling similar kind of stories of being in the taxis, finding themselves being flung in the air and then going into other vehicles as well. So quite a traumatic incident. Many are still in shock. We know shelters are being set up. We spoke earlier with some of the organizations that are helping the victims to ensure that, given now that the barbed wire is being set up, given now that they will not be able to maybe access some of their homes, that they can be housed during this time. But that's it for now. Back to you in studio.